Hi guys, this is your guy Greg Talks Football, aka GTF here with another NFL video. This was something I wanted to talk about for a while as well, because I made another video that's going to be uploaded before this one, but this is also one I wanted to really talk about. Now, I talked about this a little last year when the Buffalo Bills played the Denver Broncos and ended up losing, and that's pretty much, how does Brandon Beane still have a job? How is Brandon Beane still employed by the Buffalo Bills? And this man got promoted, by the way. So now, instead of the GM, I think he's the CEO of football operations or something like that, some fancy title. But my point is, and this might be the name of the video, the Buffalo Bills will never win anything meaningful if Brandon Beane is general manager, and they really fucking don't. They hired Brandon Beane on May 9th, 2017, after that 2017 draft when they fired Doug Whaley, I believe his name was. And besides drafting Josh Allen, Brandon Beane has not been a good general manager, and he really hasn't. Now, I'm somebody that I tried to defend Brandon Beane over the years, especially I didn't ever wanted to say Howie Roseman was the best general manager in football. So I tried to really push for Brandon Beane really bad. But over these last couple of years of this man's drafts and all this shit, Brandon Beane should have been fired. Brandon Beane sucks. And again, if not for Josh Allen, this man would have been fired years ago. But at the end of the day, when you draft the right quarterback and it ends up working for you, you're going to be given chances. And at the end of the day, that's just what's happening for the Buffalo Bills right now. I feel bad for Buffalo Bill fans. I really do. I know what it's like to have a shitty general manager that holds your team back. I had Jerry Reese, who didn't even draft Eli, but we won a Super Bowl under Jerry Reese, so we're kind of in the same thing the Bills are right now, except they don't have the Super Bowl ring. But, so I understand what it's like to have a horrible general manager just because of some one or two things he did in the past. So I apologize to Bill fans, but you just got to try to brace through and hope Josh Allen can carry your team. But at the end of the day, Josh Allen also needs to play better in the playoffs. But this video is not about Josh Allen, but he is a big focal point in why Brandon Beane still has a job, and again, even why he got promoted. My problem with Brandon Beane, though, not to mention he sucks at drafting. I believe out of 59 picks, because he's had 66, but I'm not counting 2026, this man has only drafted 5 Pro Bowlers, one of them being Josh Allen. That's a really low percentage. That absolutely sucks. That absolutely really fucking sucks. And then if you look at his first and second round picks, and I'm going to get into them. His first round picks, besides Josh Allen, Tremaine Edmonds, who's on my Giants now, he wasn't bad, but you want to do better than Tremaine Edmonds. You want a guy who's going to still be on your team and be an all-pro. That's not Tremaine Edmonds, unfortunately. Ed Oliver in 2019, I loved Ed Oliver. He was my number 1 player in 2019. But he's just been okay. Ed Oliver's just been okay, and he's had injury problems. But there were better players the Bills could have picked in that 2019 draft that could really have helped them. Then they traded their first-round pick in 2020 for Stephon Diggs. That I'll give him credit for. It just ended up not working out, but you should have just tried to kept Stephon Diggs, because he's still a very good wide receiver, even now. Let's see. Then they drafted Gregory Rousseau. That one worked out, even though, again, I hate drafting edge rushers in the first round. But this one, I'd say, did work out. But then he drafted Kyer Elam in the first round, the corner, who absolutely sucked ass, can't do shit. I don't even think he's on the team anymore. Dalton Kincaid in the first round. He's an okay tight end. He did really good his first year or two, but then he's been mid. And then they drafted Maxwell Harrison, a corner, last year, who I heard he sucks. I don't watch Bills film or tape or anything like that, but Bills fans were not happy with the Maxwell Harrison pick, but we'll see how he does. It's only been a year. But really where it gets bad for Brandon Beane is the second round. His second round is fucking horrible. if you really look at it. 2019, he drafted Cody Ford, the guard. Sucks. No, I don't even think he's in the NFL anymore. That's how bad he is. 2020, they drafted AJ Espinoza, the edge. He's absolutely friggin' terrible. I don't even think he's in the league anymore. So that's 2 second-round picks in 19 and 20 burned. 2021, Boogie Basham. Oh, my God. When I was looking this up, I didn't realize Boogie Basham was a second-round pick. Boogie Basham, the Bills ended up trading to the New York Giants for a 7th-round pick, I believe 2 years ago, and Boogie Basham sucked on my team. So that's 3 second-round picks burned. Then he got a hit, James Cook, I believe in the 2022 draft. That was a great pick. Wouldn't trade that for any other pick in the world. He's been a great player. I don't know if James Cook has been an All-Pro, but he's pretty damn close to it. But still, pretty damn good. Then Osiris Torrance in 2023. He's been okay, I think. Again, I don't know if he's still on the team or not. I think he's just solid, though. Then they drafted a safety, Cole Bishop, in 2024. And then they drafted defensive tackle TJ Sanders in 2025. Again, out of all these second-round picks here that I've seen, not one wide receiver. Why? Why? Just help Josh Allen, man. And there were just some times in the draft that I was watching, especially last year, he didn't draft an offensive player until the 5th round. Why? And it was some no-name tight end that I don't think did anything last year. What is wrong with Brandon Beane? I mean, especially, he can't draft defense. Besides Gregory Rousseau and maybe Ed Oliver, he sucks at drafting defense. It got so bad, he tried signing Von Miller to a massive $120 million contract, I think 2 or 3 years ago, and that just failed massively. Miserably. It just did not work out for the Buffalo Bills. But the reason, and honestly, I could excuse all of this, maybe. I mean, the drafting does need to be better, but the man did draft Josh Allen, and it's hard to draft that quarterback. And again, that's the only reason why he has this job. I mean, I'm just going to get into a side tangent. Take Joe Douglas, for example. When he got hired by the Jets, I think in 21, he missed on Zach Wilson, and he missed on the head coach, but he pretty much hit on every other position. But long story short, he ended up getting fired, though. Joe Douglas, to me, he's a better general manager than Brandon Beane is. But the problem is, Brandon Beane, to me, I'm sorry, he got lucky. They took a flyer on a project, quarterback out of Wyoming, and Josh Allen, and it ended up working out for the Buffalo Bills. But I'm sorry, this man just should not be the general manager. And then just to top it all off, he's just so cocky and arrogant. And he thinks he's the smartest person in the room, and it just pisses me off to my core. And I'll never get over this, but Brandon Beane, I believe it was 2 or 3 years ago, maybe 4, he was on a radio show where the radio hosts were complaining about wide receivers or whatever, and I think Brandon Beane was on the phone with them, and Brandon Beane's you guys wanted us to draft Josh Rosen coming out instead of Josh Allen, so I think we know more than you guys do. Or, I'm, paraphrasing, but pretty much just some stupid smart-ass comment like that. You're besides Josh Allen, your team sucks. Josh Allen's the only reason the Bills are relevant. If not for Josh Allen, you probably have a bottom 7, bottom 8 roster in the league. Your team's not good, man. Besides James Cook, your wide receivers are kind of dog shit. Keon Coleman, they picked in the 2nd round, I believe, or something like that, and they drafted him to be a number 1 wide receiver. He's not that. Their tight ends are okay. Dawson Knox isn't fantastic. Dalton Kincaid's okay. Their offensive line's Their defense sucks. Their defense is terrible. I mean, their defense is so bad they couldn't hold the Chiefs for 13 seconds from getting a field goal when the Chiefs were deep in their territory. And then they couldn't hold, I think Patrick Mahomes in another game in overtime or whatever, to a point where the NFL changed the overtime rules for Josh Allen. Again, just shitty drafting by Brandon Beane, and then just the cocky arrogance that this man has. and parades around himself with, that he just thinks he's smarter than everybody else, and it's freaking aggravating. At least in Howie Roseman's case, Howie Roseman's an asshole, but at least he drafts really good on defense, like Quinyon Mitchell, Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter, trying to think, who was another guy? I thought he drafted, Cooper DeJean. So, Howie Roseman, yes, he's a cocky, arrogant son of a bitch, but at least he can back it up. Brandon Beane tries to do the same thing and just fails miserably. Like, I'm just so tired of Brandon Beane. When I was going off on the whole Buffalo Bills organization because they lost to the Denver Broncos, they lost to bum Knicks that they shouldn't have lost to because Josh Allen probably had his worst game of his career. I was saying Brandon Beane should have been fired. They fired Sean McDermott, and they should have just taken Brandon Beane with them. They should have just packed his bags and just thrown him the fuck out. Because, I'm sorry, Buffalo Bill fans, they don't deserve this shit. When that stadium gets piled with snow and shit, they're the first ones that go in there and shovel the snow. The Buffalo Bills, I also think when Tyrod Taylor beat the Bengals or whatever with Andy Dalton still on their team, they raised money for Andy Dalton's charity or some things like that. Bill fans are really good fans, that they deserve to win. But, again, you're not going to win anything as long as you have this asshole conceding piece of shit as your general manager. And that's just a harsh truth. Because it's like, and I'm going to just say this, if the Jets play their cards right, and they get a quarterback, they'll be the best team in that division. They really will. Yes, you're better than the Dolphins, and roster-wise, I want to say you're better than the Patriots, but again, besides Josh Allen, the Buffalo Bills ain't shit, and it's a hard fact to take, it's a hard fact to understand, but when you really look at it, and you look at everybody else's rosters across the league, and you just see it, it's true, the Buffalo Bills do not have a good roster. If Josh Allen isn't performing like a top quarterback in the league, the Bills aren't winning and they're not doing anything. I guarantee you, if Josh Allen got hurt and he was out for like 8 weeks, this team would not win a game. That's just how bad this roster is. They're not winning shit with Mitchell Trubisky as their backup quarterback. Like, come on, man. Like, again, this Bills team's just not good. But Josh Allen tries to do everything he can to carry this bum-ass team like you're supposed to do if you're a really good quarterback, like quarterbacks like Justin Herbert should be doing, and Trevor Lawrence should be doing. But Josh Allen actually does it. I just feel bad for Josh Allen that he has this bum as his general manager, but who knows what happens. To me, the Bills' chance to win a Super Bowl was last year, and they blew that chance. 100% they blew that chance, so I think it's over. I think the Bills are going to come to their senses in like 2 to 3 years, and they're going to fire Brandon Beane, hopefully, because that's what needs to happen. But like I said, Bills, I was in the same shoes as you. We had Jerry Reese from 2007 to 2016, and we ended up waiting too long to fire Jerry Reese, and it screwed us. So at the end of the day, hopefully the Bills brass, their owner, Terry something, I forgot his name, I hope they make the right decision. They just fire him. And also, promoting Joe Brady to head coach was absolutely ridiculous. Joe Brady sucks. You should have hired a real head coach, honestly. Because that Bills job, especially with Josh Allen as your quarterback, is a really popular job to have. But they chose to promote Joe Brady, which I don't think that's going to work out for you. But we'll see what happens. But I just want to make this video because Brandon Beane has gotten me on my damn nerves for a while now, and he makes me sick to my stomach. I'll leave in the description of the video where I go off on Brandon Beane, Sean McDermott, and the Bills when they lost to the Denver Broncos in the description, because that's one of my favorite videos, personally, because that shit pissed me off. But that was more just me being pissed off at the Denver Broncos and them just winning games they had no business winning than the Bills. But, again, the Bills just pissed me off, too. But regardless, this is going to be it for Greg Talks Football, or aka GTF. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment. And I'll leave a description for my first channel, Greg Giants, which is primarily a Giants channel. with Giants content. Now, I have some things like I've done the divisional round, championship, Super Bowl, but with this new channel, this year I'm gonna do all that stuff on this channel, so. But regardless, thank you for watching, and until the next video, peace out, and thank you for watching.